Me. I am so excited to be here, and you're absolutely right. It is so serendipitous that I should be on after Carrie because I am the dream design coach. In fact, I invented the dream design discipline. That is what I do. And so I am so excited to take you guys through a little bit more of the nuance kind of what Carrie talked about. Like, what is it when you're talking about your dreams? What happens if you don't feel like you're worthy of your dreams? Or better yet, what if you don't know what you want? See, this is what my struggle was. I was living in Alaska. I had 2 small children. I had one on the way. My husband was in the Army. So thank you for his service. And anyone out there who is oh, hey, Angela, who else is a military spouse? We were in Alaska where the air hurts your face. It was negative 65 degrees, folks. You could pour water in the air and it would evaporate. Not my idea of a dream. Needless to say, we made it work. We had a really great marriage. But my husband found out that he was going to have to go to Korea. And I'm like, this doesn't work for me. So I went to him and I said, listen, I love you. I waited till I was 29 years old to find you. And I want to spend all of our life together. And this isn't working for me. And he said, okay, well, then you need to figure out how we're going to make the money that I was bringing in order to live our lives. So I said, no problem. I was stationed in Fairbanks. And so I was Fort Wainwright. And so I didn't know how I was going to do that. I had no idea how I was going to make that money, but I knew that it was either that or I was stuck in this life. And so I thought to myself, what do I do? How do I make this happen? But I knew I was going to do it. So I started to really look into some of the tools that I've used in the past, the law of attraction, manifestation. And I actually came across a really hokey YouTube video called You Were Born Rich. It was from the 80s. And it was Bob Proctor, God rest his soul, love Bob. And it was all about having the birthright of abundance, that it was something that we came here and we had from birth, right? So one of the things that Bob kept saying was, what do you really want? What do you really want? And he would yell it at you. He would look right at the TV and he would point at the audience and he would say, what do you really want? And I realized I had no idea. I knew what I didn't want. I knew what people wanted from me. I knew what everybody else wanted. I knew what the American dream was, but I had no idea what I wanted. And so that's where I had to start. So I decided to write down everything I wanted. And I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want, but I didn't know what I wanted. And a little voice in my head said, guess what? If you don't know what you want, you can't make it happen. And I realized that my problem wasn't money. It wasn't time. It wasn't luck. It was that I didn't know what I wanted. It was like I was shooting for a target and I didn't even know where the target was. So I thought to myself, I've got to figure this out. And so that's what I did. And I created what I like to call the Dream Design Blueprint. And so what the Dream Design Blueprint is it is a system of figuring out what you truly desire. Because here's the thing, I'm willing to bet that if not now, but at some point in your life, you designed a dream that wasn't yours. You went after something that you didn't truly desire. Something that somebody told you you wanted, something that Pinterest told you you wanted, something that the Target catalog told you you wanted. But I'm here to let you in on a little secret. You're not here to choose. You're here to design. Let me give you an example. Suppose you go into a restaurant and you get to sit at the chef's table, one of those little tables that's inside the kitchen, right? And you sit down and the chef makes you this absolutely incredible meal. And at the end, after you're licking your lips and you can't even imagine fitting anything else in there, he says to you, what would you like for dessert? I can make anything. And you say, well, I really like chocolate. And flourless is great, right? Because that won't take up a lot of space in my stomach. And then maybe if it had like mint julep or something in it, it would be fantastic. I love mint julep. And if you could do that flambe thing, that would be awesome. And the chef runs off into the kitchen and he comes back out And he brings you exactly what you wanted. It came right out of your mind and he manifested it on a plate in front of you. And you take a bite and it's everything you ever wanted. It is moist and delicious and it lights you up because it aligns with your desire. Now let's do the same thing. We're in the same restaurant, but we're not at the chef's table. We're out in the main dining room. It's time for dessert. And dinner was just as wonderful. The chef made it. But now instead, they're passing a little cart around with all the pieces of cake on it, right? And they say, which one of these would you like? And you say, oh, I'll take that chocolatey one over there. It's got something green in it. I wonder if it's mint julep. And you take a bite and it's not mint julep, it's pistachio. And you don't even like pistachio. And you're like, this isn't what I wanted. But you fell into the trap of choosing from what was available. And this is what we do every single day. We create the illusion that we're designing our dreams, but the truth is we're choosing from a catalog. We're saying of these 10 things in all these colors. Who's ever heard of blend jet, right? How many different colors of blend jet do they make? There's probably 25, but you're still buying a darn blend jet, right? They're giving you the illusion of choice, but you're still doing one thing. And that is what life tries to do. Take, for example, the idea of dreaming at all. We talk about the dream. What is that? It's a package. You get this, you get the picket fence, you get the 2.5 kids, you get the beautiful house, you get the grass. What is it that in Little Shop of Horrors, right? The thing about the tract house, right? And all the different pieces and all that. You get the dream. We're not here to have the dream. We're here to dream. It's a verb. It's movement. It's emotion. It's a creative process. It is the divine feminine part of us in all of its glory. I don't want you to tell me what I can have. I want to choose it up here and I want to create it out here. Because that in partnership with the universe, remember Carrie said, both Carries said, but this Carrie said, don't worry about the how, right? Don't worry about the how. Worry about the what. The what is what's missing. The what is what you're not building and why every single time you're not fulfilled. It's why you buy things at Target. I know I'm picking on Target today. You buy things at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then you turn around and you sell them at a yard sale a year later. Why? Because they don't provide fulfillment, because they don't scratch your personal itch. They don't hit that drive. How many people have been in network marketing? I built a multi-7-figure business in network marketing. I never cold messaged, I never cold called anybody, but I built a multi-7-figure business. And do you know what I found in network marketing? 90% of the things that I created were not things I wanted. They were things that the owner wanted for me, the things that the owner thought I wanted. They were little, tchotchkes that I got to bring home, necklaces that meant that I did something, but I was never attached to those things. I wasn't driven to those things. I have people tell me all the time in their businesses, they'll say, yeah, you know what? I just can't make it work. I just can't do it. I just can't reach this rank, or I just can't, call these people. And I say to them, and this is a very, very, severe thing to say, but I say it because it's important. Let's say that it was your kid and there was life-saving medicine that they needed. And all they needed for you to do was to pick up the phone and call XYZ, or to make $10,000 in 24 hours. You're going to tell me you're not knocking on your neighbor's door asking for cans? You're not calling up everybody you know? You're not putting it all out there? You're not giving it your all? Your kid would never die. That medicine would be there in 15 minutes, maybe an hour. Why? Because it matters. How many things in your life are you chasing that don't really matter? You think they do. Someone told you they did, but they matter to them. They don't matter to you. And before you think, well, does it really matter? I mean, what if I don't reach my dreams? What if I told you that your dreams are your job? What if I told you that you are here on this planet to create something for Source, that Source is using you and your human existence as a way to further wholeness in this world? That you signed a contract before you came to this Earth school and said, I'm going to create this magic on this planet. I am going to do this thing. And do you know how I know this is so? Because that thing that you really want to do, it lights you up. It makes you feel like you could do it all day, like you could do it all night, like you could make magic doing this thing. Like you could solve the world's problems doing this thing. Why is that? That's an incentive from the universe itself, from God's source, higher power. That is something that says, I want you to do this, so I'm going to make it feel good for you to do. It's kind of like with the cigarette industry and nicotine, only it's the good side. Remember, polarity is all about there's always a good side. So like we talk about, boiling the frog and slowly turning it up and like you don't realize that something bad's happening. Right now, energetically, the universe is turning up the energy slowly so that we don't feel the reaction from it. It's a good thing, right? So could it be that the universe, God's source, higher power, is incentivizing you to do the work that you want to do because it's what it wants you to do, because that's what furthers the wholeness of this planet? So now I've got you all excited about, yes, I want to build my dreams. I'm ready to design them. It is my birthright. How do I do it, Amy Lee? Get a pen, get a paper, let's go. Here comes the dream design blueprint. Everything you want starts and ends with a feeling. Don't believe me? Think about that pocketbook that you want. Maybe it's Louis Vuitton, maybe it's a La Perla, maybe it's what's that other brand that everybody loves? Solera loves it. Prada, I think, I can't remember it, but people love these pocketbooks. Now, at the end of the day, it's a little tiny container that holds all your crap, right? Why do we want it? Why don't I want the one down the street at Walmart? See, I didn't say Target that time. Why do I want that one? Because it's prestigious. Because I feel like I made it. Because people will go, ooh, look at her, she has Louis. Chanel, that's it, Chanel. Sorry, Solera, not Prada, Chanel. I knew it was something. Why? Because it's about the feeling. It's about the feeling. If I was to say to you, hey girl, I'm not going to give you the Prada, I'm not going to give you the Chanel, I'm not going to give you the Louis Vuitton, but I'm going to give you all the feelings that you're going to carry this Walmart bag. No one's going to know the difference. Everybody's going to think you have that bag. You can keep your $1,000 or your whatever, $2,500. Who's going to say no? Maybe pocketbooks aren't your thing. Maybe it's fancy cars. You're going to feel like you're driving a Ferrari. You're going to pull up to valet and they're going to think you're driving a Ferrari. You're going to have that Ferrari freaking feeling. Do you need the car? No. So at the end of the day, it's really all about the feeling. So what feelings do you want to have? Well, what feelings do you like to have? Joy, success, happiness, excitement, exuberance, ecstasy, love, romance, all of these things. Great. Can you feel those feelings in your body now? Have you had them before? Go back to the time when you had them. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. For me, it's my wedding day. It's that moment walking down the stairs, having my husband look at me and just like, woof, I can pull that feeling into my body right the heck now. Okay, so that's a feeling I want to have. Super. What happens next, Amy Lee? Now we know what feeling you want to have. Moving to the next part of the blueprint. What are the thoughts and affirmations that I'm going to have when that happens? What are the thoughts and affirmations going through my mind when I have those feelings that correlate to those feelings? Because remember, it's that mind-body coherence, right? So I'm feeling it in my body. What am I thinking? Gosh, I feel so loved. Oh my gosh, I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. Look at the way he looks at me. I am the luckiest girl. Trying to find a couple more. This can't be happening. This can't be real. This is my fairy tale. There's those thoughts and affirmations. They're actually enhancing the feeling in my body, right? They're grounding it and they're enhancing it. So now we've got feelings, thoughts and affirmations. What comes next? The part that you've been trying to do first all along. It's the things, the evidence, the tangible outcomes. If I was to drop an alien down in your living room and I put them right in front of you and said, How do you know that this person has this feeling and these thoughts? Now, what does it look like? I'm wearing a beautiful wedding dress. He's wearing his, what are they called? Class A's. I forgot what they're, he'll make fun of me. We're standing in my parents' living room, but still, that's where it was. What are the tangible outcomes? What will it look like when I feel like this? Maybe I'm on a yacht. Maybe the wind is in my hair. Maybe somebody's calling me and saying, Amy Lee, I heard about you on this summit and I want to work with you. Maybe it's my DMs are full and people are like, how do I get into your energy? How do I get into your energy? Where do I go to find you? Maybe it's, I want to work with you. I don't know. I don't know why, I just do. It could be any of those. Is it okay if I unmute, Carrie? Okay.
Sorry about that interruption.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have ADD, so if I ever get distracted, that's why. So what does that look like for you? Does it look like you standing on stage and giving a TED talk like my friend Marta who's watching? Hi, Marta. What does it look like? What are the tangible outcomes, right? That is how you design a dream. You figure out the feelings, the thoughts and affirmations, the tangible outcomes. You put that all together. You turn that into an experience, a moment, an essence, and that's the dream. And that's what you're building. And guess what? Whatever that is what the universe wants you to do. So no guilt, no overwhelm, no feeling bad about it. Hey, Marta, right? You are here to do a job. Your dreams are your job. You signed a contract. Someone said, all right, so you're going to go to Earth. You're going to be a woman. You're going to have this experience, this experience, this experience. Here's going to be your human design. What do you think of this? You like this? Good. Okay, perfect. You're going to get married. Actually, you're going to get divorced. Is that okay? You don't mind? All right, well, we'll do this instead. You'll also win the lottery. You're going to do this. Okay, awesome. This is great. Okay, so just sign right here. Here's your skin suit. See you down there. Oh, by the way, you're not going to remember any of this. And then you're born. So my job as the dream design coach is to bring you back and remind you that you made that contract. And here I am to help you get back on track to what that is. So dream design is a combination of human design, which we touched on briefly, and your soul vision, what you're here to create. So your dreams are your mission. Your design is the method. It's not.
Can you repeat that? I need to write that down.
Your dreams are your mission. Your design is the method. It's not an accident. You're not here to play in the sandbox. You're here for big things. You want to know what those big things are? Follow your dreams. That's all.
Wow, so amazing. Your dreams are your mission. Your design is your method. So beautiful. Now, how did you create this? How did you create the dream design blueprint? Did it take a lot of trial and error?
I think I channeled it. I mean, it just, most of the really powerful things that have happened to me just kind of pop into my head. And this was one of those things that I was like, okay, how do I really distill down the essence of this? How do I really turn this into something that people could use? Because I started out as an empath and highly sensitive coach. And I realized they didn't want to just talk about being an empath and highly sensitive. I wanted to help that population. I very much identified with highly sensitive, people pleaser, high achiever, spiritually open people. But I also recognized that I didn't just want to do that. I wanted to help them make something. I didn't just want to help them understand themselves. And I realized that so many other people didn't know what they wanted either, right? There's this juxtaposition of guilt and overwhelm, where people are just like, well, I don't know what I want and I don't have time to think about it. And who am I to want more, right? So that's why, like, the name of my brand is Gratitude and Glamour. Yes, grateful all day long, but aspiring always to more, always reaching that next level, always getting to that higher achievement, to that extra little juicy morsel of fulfillment. That's my mission. And again, how do I know it's my mission? Because it lights me up like no other. There is nothing. I mean, I love my kids to pieces, but I could talk about this stuff all day, every day until I'm blue in the face. And that's because that's what I'm here to do. And if you look at my human design, it's all over the place.
Yeah, so your human design, how do you integrate human design with working with your clients? And then also, can you go into scripting? Because we don't have that much time left, but I want to learn about the scripting piece and how to integrate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. Was that what I was supposed to talk about today? I'm sorry. I totally like ripped off.
There's no shoulds. It's whatever is coming through for everyone. So it was so beautiful. Like the comments are, it's mind blowing. You've had huge paradigm shifts in my mind, in everyone here's mind. So it's just beautiful. Yeah. So I just want to know a little bit about scripting so I can implement it in my own life.
Yeah. So I actually, in my membership, I have a monthly membership, and I actually have a whole class on scripting, just in case anybody really wants to dig into it. But scripting is basically, it's future casting. So what happens is we're creating mental rehearsal. The universe doesn't know, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what you're doing and what you think you're doing, right? Or what it thinks you're doing. And so what happens is when we look at all of the quantum possibilities of what could happen in reality, we have to be able to isolate them to make things happen. So there's a whole thing, if you've ever heard of the double slit test, there's an idea that there's this quantum reality and there's all these millions of different ways it could go. And the only thing that determines which one happens is whether it's observed or not. So by observing certain experiences and circumstances, we are collapsing the possibilities to make those things happen. So when we script, we're actually collapsing all the other opportunities by virtue of observing.
Please stay muted if you're on. Thank you. So removing all other possibilities through future casting.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. So how can anyone get a hold of you? I know you have your podcast, but share all the things so we can connect with you. So many mind-blowing realizations. My biggest one was also dream is a verb and not a noun, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
To dream. It's not just one thing.
Yeah, it's a muscle. You have to do that. It's you have to exercise that part of you. Absolutely. Okay, so ways to get hold of me. I have a Facebook group. It's called Dream Building Entrepreneurs. You guys are all welcome. I have a free workshop next week called the Dream Like a Boss Workshop, which you guys are all welcome to join as well. What else? AmyLeeWestervelt.com. You can find me there. You can send me a friend request. Gratitude and Glamour on Instagram. I'm sure you have all my stuff. Oh, can I talk about my freebie real quick? Because it's kind of when you have to explain. Can I just do that real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I have for you is my Dream Design Archetype Assessment. So we talked a little bit about scripting, and what it does is it gives you 4 different scripts for you to look at and see which one most resonates, which one feels the most like it would be your dream. And then once you determine which one it is, and you'll know, trust me, you'll feel it in your body. Once you recognize that, it gives you some actionable steps that you can do so that you can move more into alignment with that dream life.
Thank you so much for sharing. I just dropped the link in the chat box. It's the Dream Design Assessment. And if you have any questions for Amy Lee, please leave them in the chat. And any final words before we move on to
my bestie Gabby that I'm like fangirling over here. Just take today and look around you and say, like, where can I design? I'm not choosing anymore. I'm going to create from my mind, and I'm going to let the quantum field manifest it. But no more settling for only what's available. Start to ask yourself, what could I create? And if I did create it, right? Like if I had the ability to create, what would I create? And watch how drastically your field shifts to what it is that you truly desire.
Beautiful. And look for the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important. Is the evidence is all around us, but the evidence is the materialization of the dream, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Popping my group in here real quick for you.
So Amy, you can leave some of the links in the chat if you can stay 5 minutes extra, and if you have any questions for her.
Sure, yeah. Ask me any questions and I'm over here. I'll happily answer.